The smile.
And still undefeated, Gervonta Tank Davis.
What'd you think, man?
No.
No?
I think it was a great fight. I think it was a great fight. It was amazing.
Tank is the best fighter in the world. Tank's the best fighter in the world. And his team's been saying it.
What's start fast? Let his hands go, impose his will, but he got to put his chin down. He got to be defensive minded. And Tank, great game plan.
Yeah, actually, no, that was a beautiful knockout. I ain't gonna lie, that was a beautiful knockout. That was beautiful.
How do you set it up in your eyes? How'd you see him?
But
What do you think about Gervonta?
I think Gervonta did good. I think he waited a little bit. I think I feel like he gets them tired first until he explodes on them.
You got to be there with him. If you're not mentally strong, that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna break you down.
Anything else that Ryan could have done differently throughout the fight?
I just feel like he just fought the wrong fight. He was following him around in round one.
The fight went exactly as I would say 100% of us expected it to go. I don't think there was very many people that
First, you know what I'm saying? He held his defense up pretty high, so he was able to maintain for a long time. But I think that whenever Tank was ready to close the gaps, he closed.
He tried to fight, but he was unsuccessful. But it is what it is. He showed how I'm doing. He got knocked out. He got
His performance. What do you think about Gervonta?
I think Gervonta did good. I think he waited a little bit. I think I feel like he gets them tired first until he explodes on them all crazy.
What next match would you like to see for him? Maybe a Shakur fight, possibly a David?
Tank's always shown that he's very well equipped with skills and he's strong. So I'm assuming that punch really was a factor.
It's close, but that's what he was all about. You feel me? Rolly got a little comfortable.
it was an ugly fight. It could have been either way, but Tank got him out of
Monster. The modern day Mike Tyson.
What do you think is next for Tank Davis after this? What would you like to see?
I mean, let's put him in big fights. He ready for everybody.
Not too much.
What did you think about Tank's power tonight? Did you think he was winning the fight up until the stoppage?
I mean, it was close, but like I say, man, he got a lot of experience, so he's really just setting it up.
You got to go back
He
up
was
here.
setting it up, taking his time. He was taking his time, just setting it up.
You know, he made a mistake and got a little froggy. He showed the world that he could outbox the champion, and he outboxed him. But thank you. Appreciate that. But, you know, Tank is a champion for a reason. I told him, he has timing and he has experience. Time and experience is too dangerous.
The fight everyone had been waiting for finally went down, and just as expected, Tank Davis walked away with another win. He took out Lamont Roach the same way he's handled so many before him. Once again, an opponent talked a big game before the fight, swearing he had the skills to take Tank down. But once they stepped in the ring, reality hit hard, just not as hard as Tank's punches. Roach came in confident, sure that his strategy would expose Tank's weaknesses. But like the 30 before him, he quickly learned that boxing isn't just about confidence, it's about...
I'm gonna do me regardless. I told him to leave his mom's and, the people home, and he still brought them. It's crazy, man. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad, man.
The second Tank figured him out, it was over. A few heavy shots, and Roach had nothing left. The fight ended exactly as most predicted. Tank, untouched, undefeated, and still on top. But surprisingly, the post-fight buzz wasn't about Tank's performance. No one seemed overly impressed, especially not the big names watching ringside. Among them were Terrence Bud Crawford, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and the man who's been calling the shots behind boxing's biggest events lately, Turki Alal Sheikh.
I'll make sure, tell Terrence Crawford, keep his name out your mouth. Nah, man, he talking crazy. Yeah. He talking crazy. You think about that one?
Nah, it was just some, talking on some Twitter, like, back and forth.
By their reactions, it was clear they weren't blown away. Crawford, never one to sugarcoat things, summed it up in just a few words. Just another win to look good. For months, he's been calling out Tank for taking the easy route, choosing opponents who keep his record flawless but don't truly test him. In Crawford's eyes, Tank has been dodging the toughest fights, more focused on maintaining his image than securing his legacy.
Question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terrence Crawford look?
147?
147.
I tapped that chain. You know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he is.
He's just arrogant, Crawford said when asked about Tank's latest win. He craves attention, but fans deserve real fights, not just a show to hype the crowd. Crawford has never been shy about speaking his mind, and this time was no different. In his opinion, only one fighter has what it takes to beat Tank, Shakur Stevenson. He's called Shakur Tank's kryptonite over and over again, the one boxer with the defense, skill, and IQ to neutralize Tank's power and completely outbox him. And tonight, it seemed like Turki Alal Sheikh might agree. Right in the middle. Of all the post-fight talk, Turki made an announcement that shook the boxing world. Tank has officially signed on for 2 fights this year. And not just any fights the fans actually want to see. Turki didn't name names, but it didn't take long for people to connect the dots. For months, he's been in talks with Tank, pushing him to step up and take on the biggest names in the division. The fight the world has been waiting for? Tank. First, Devin Haney. Turki has been working non-stop to make massive fights happen, and with this announcement, one thing is clear. Tank's next 2 opponents won't be easy. These won't be tune-up fights. They'll be the real deal. The obvious matchups?
Devin, thoughts on the fight?
Haney, the undisputed champ, has been calling for this fight for ages. He believes he's the best at 135 pounds and has repeatedly said he has the skills to take down Tank. In Haney's eyes, Tank's hype is just that, hype. He's confident he can outbox him, break him down over 12 rounds, and prove once and for all that skill beats power. Then there's Shakur, who's been just as vocal. For years, he's claimed that Tank's team carefully picks his opponents to protect him from real threats. But now, with Turki confirming 2 major fights are happening, Shakur knows his moment is coming. The difference this time? No more excuses. No more soft fights. No more avoiding the biggest names in the division. And just when it seemed like the night couldn't get any wilder, Oscar De La Hoya dropped another bombshell. Tank versus Ryan Garcia 2 is happening. No date yet, but it's officially locked in. Ryan has been demanding a rematch ever since their first fight ended, convinced he wasn't at his best. He blamed the weight cut for draining him and admitted to making mistakes he wouldn't repeat. Since then, he's been in the news for all the wrong reasons. Social media outbursts, legal troubles, and constant criticism from the boxing world. But for Ryan, this rematch isn't just another fight. It's his shot at redemption.
You know, in all of boxing in regards to where you're at in your weight class and how you consistently are just knocking guys out, what's that feeling like when you do?
I feel like...
Oscar De La Hoya wasted no time building the hype, claiming Ryan is coming back with a whole new mindset, and this time, he'll be a real problem for Tank, or even Devin Haney. De La Hoya has always believed in Ryan's talent, constantly, saying his speed and power make him a legitimate threat to anyone in the division, And with all the chaos surrounding Ryan lately, this rematch might be exactly what he needs to prove he's still a serious contender. But the bigger picture here isn't just about these fights, it's what this means for Tank's future. AOE full. Few months ago, rumors swirled that Tank wasn't interested in working with Turkey. He wanted to stay independent, control his career, and avoid—
Said I drank. No, I did not. He was eating the day before. Like, we had a media workout. He was eating at his media workout, bro. I wasn't even eating at my media workout. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, he tricked the people. Like, yeah, I'm draining. No, you wasn't. I just made him have to work.
But now he's all in, and that changes everything. Turkey isn't just another promoter or businessman in boxing. He's the guy making the biggest fights happen, putting up the money, closing the deals, and ensuring the best go up against the best. With Tank now working directly with Turkey, the biggest matchups in the division aren't just possibilities anymore. They're inevitable. Haney, Shakur, Ryan, these fights aren't just talk, they're happening.
I didn't know how good I was and how I would handle the situation. So it just threw me out there. He was hurt. I mean, not even hurt.
Crawford saw this coming. That's why he was there, watching it unfold. He's been demanding these fights for months, calling on Tank to step up and prove himself against the best. And now, with Turkey making moves, there's no room left for excuses. Tank made a statement tonight, once again proving he's still the king of the division. He still has the power. He's still the one everyone is chasing. But now, the real test begins. Because no matter how many knockouts he racks up, no matter how many wins he adds, the only thing that matters now is whether he can beat the best. And with Haney, Shakur, and Ryan lined up, we're about to see if Tank is truly as untouchable as he claims to be.
It was a professional versus an amateur.
The thing about Tank's fights, you always know what's coming, you just don't know when. A knockout is only a matter of time, and at the weigh-in, Tank knew it too. Same old, he told the crowd. I've got to give them what they want to see. He never needed to say much. His fists did the talking. For Roach, the real question was whether he could last long enough to make this fight interesting. Could he avoid that one punch that shuts the lights off? Could he pull off the impossible and shock the world? It was a long shot, but he believed, and so did the people around him. At the weigh-in, Roach stepped in right at 135. Oz Tank, looking a little drained, came in at 133.8. That got people talking. Maybe Roach had an edge. Maybe the weight cut hit Tank harder this time. Roach was feeling himself. I told him, "This is real," he said after the face-off. "I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and I can't wait for you all to see it." Promoter Tom Brown was selling the same angle. Champion versus champion, Baltimore versus DC. Who was the bigger man today? He hyped the fight, making it seem closer than it really was. Roach's team was confident too. His co-promoter Gary Jonas kept saying it. Roach wasn't scared. He had known Tank since they were kids and had even fought him twice. In the amateurs. The advantage Lamont has is their history, Jonas said. Psychologically, that's an edge over other guys who get intimidated by Tank. But here's the thing. Knowing Tank doesn't mean you can stop him. Despite all the talk and confidence, Roach was still the underdog for a reason. He was moving up in weight, facing a guy who had knocked out 28 of his 30 opponents. This wasn't just about skill, it was about power. And Tank had plenty of it. Roach was good, solid, technically sharp. But to win, he had to fight the perfect fight. He had to be flawless for all 12 rounds, interview 14. And then there was the bet. Tank and Roach made some kind of wager after the weigh-in. Some lip readers guessed it was 20K, others thought it went as high as 250K. Maybe Roach truly believed he had a shot. Maybe he just wanted to make a statement. Either way, it didn't age well. Roach carried that same confidence into every... Sitting back on a Zoom call with Dan, he was cool and collected. I have no doubt in myself. My skills, my strength, my will, he said. We're going to put it all together. He promised a career-defining performance. The fight might not even look how people expect it to. Honestly, it's going to be a real spectacle.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's.
And as for the critics who doubted him, he didn't care. They'll just have to wait and see, he said. For real, I couldn't care less about their doubts. He spoke like a man on a mission, a fighter who truly believed he was about to shock the world. But belief doesn't win fights. And when that bell rang, reality hit. We saw it unfold exactly, as expected. Roach tried, he really did. He had his moments, but they weren't enough. Tank did what he always does. Took his time, found his range, and when the moment was right, he closed the show. After the fight, Roach wasn't the same. The fire he had before, it was dim. He was already talking about stepping away, maybe for good. That confidence he carried into the ring, gone. This was the biggest fight of his career, his one shot at greatness. And just like so many before him, he came up short. But now, all eyes are on what's next for Tank. And it all starts with Shakur. But the biggest question now, will we finally get the fights we actually want to see? What do you think? Drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.